Well, I think we're ready to go ahead and start our workshop, and we are so glad that you all are here today to participate in our library and ACES workshop on citation managers. I'm Cynthia Kane, and I am a Director of Assessment and Instruction here at Emporia State. I may have had a chance to work with you before, or you may sound familiar.
And my name is Bethany Odell. I'm the Virtual Learning Librarian.
And what we're going to be doing today is actually covering different tools that you can use to help you organize your research a lot more effectively, particularly when you are in a situation in which you are searching in databases or you're searching on the web and you find different websites, articles, electronic books, YouTube videos, and so forth that you would like to save and organize, and then also be able to create a bibliography from those references, and then take notes for future research as well. This is what basically our outcome is, and it really helps you in terms of communicating scholarly, saving your research, be able to convert that into a paper or a project later on. We do have some contact information out here on basically following up with us. We have our email addresses here. And you can also email us at the reference desk. You can visit us at the information desk. We are available during different hours of the day or the night to help with any type of research needs and ask us any questions that you have. Bethany and I are going to be kind of tag teaming today. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a very quick overview of different software programs that we are familiar with. And then we definitely want to entertain any questions that you have. So by the time you finish, hopefully you'll have a good understanding and a good overview of some different reference management programs that you might want to try out. Each one has its strengths and drawbacks, I think is a good way to put it. So citation management tools, they are basically programs that collect records or citations from research databases so that you can organize them for your research projects. They will help you create bibliographies also in different formats, such as APA, MLA, the Chicago Manual of Style, and a lot of other citation styles that might be out there that are required by different disciplines. So it's really just bringing everything together at once and really helping you keep on track to be more organized in your own research. And I know that Bethany and I both make great use of reference management programs when we're doing research and getting ready to write articles to submit for publication as well. And like I said, there are a lot out there. And we are just going to scratch the surface today of some of these. We're going to actually start with a couple of tools called Zotero, and then we're also going to mention Mendeley and CoolWhiz very briefly, and then we will wind up spending some time on a new resource that we have that's called APA Style Central, which is a really powerful resource for APA style. It also provides templates for writing papers, so it'll help you create headings, abstracts, the references list, everything like that. And I'm going to start with Zotero. What I'm going to do is a quick demonstration of what Zotero is all about, and a lot of information that I don't have time to cover today is on your handout for Zotero as well. So I've been using Zotero for probably about 10 years now, probably about a decade. And the way that I got into Zotero was I had a faculty member here at ESU who called me one day, and she said, I would really like for you to do a library instruction session for my class, Cynthia. Happy to do that. What would you like me to cover? Well, I want you to do Zotero. And I said, okay, I can do that. I had never used Zotero before. I didn't even know what it was. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do some quick research online and find out what it's all about. Well, what I found is that Zotero actually, again, is an incredibly powerful tool. And what I'm going to do at this point is actually show you what Zotero is all about. And I'm going to share another screen. That will show you a little bit more about what Zotero is. So to get the Zotero, all you have to do is go to www.zotero.org. Zotero is totally free up to a certain amount of megabyte space in the cloud. So if you're familiar with Google Drive and sharing your documents or basically saving documents in Google Drive, it's similar to that. Everything you do in Zotero actually lives in a Zotero account that you can create. And the great thing about Zotero is It's not dependent upon your g.emporia.edu address. You can create a free account in Zotero using your emporia.edu account if you like. However, if you have a regular gmail.com account or another account, you can use that as well. And then that way, it's always going to be portable. Anything that you save in Zotero from now on will actually live in your Zotero account. So that's one advantage of Zotero. But more than that, Zotero actually interacts and works with various browsers. We're going to be using Google Chrome today because that's what a lot of people use and it's what I'm more comfortable with than anything else. But what happens with Zotero is that when you go back over here, you can download Zotero onto your own laptop or tablet. But if you create a free Zotero account, you can actually sign into your Zotero account anywhere that you happen to be. So if you were here in the library, you could go to www.zotero.org, sign into your Zotero account, and everything you've saved will be there in the Zotero cloud as well. But if you have your own laptop, you can download Zotero, and then that way it's living in your personal library on your computer. I do have Zotero downloaded on this computer already, so I'm going to be using this for a demonstration of how it works and why I might want to use it. So down here, and I'm going to make sure I'm actually sharing this as well. There we are. So with Zotero, there are actually two parts you want to do with Google Chrome. The first thing you would want to do is download Zotero onto your computer, and then there is a connector that you install that will actually connect Google Chrome to Zotero so the two will talk together. After you do that, there's a Z that will appear on your desktop. You want to open that Z, and when you open that, you will actually see this window that's up here that will say, Welcome to Zotero. I do need to keep this window open but minimized. And I'm going to go ahead and do my share again because I'm going to go back actually in here and show you how Zotero will actually work. So I'm going to go to our library's webpage. And at this point, I'm going to go into databases, and I'm going to go into the Academic Search Complete database. And I'm just going to do a search on, let's do electronic health records. We can try that as a possibility. And I'm going to call up a particular thing on here. Now, I'm not sure why that isn't showing up right now because it should. Let's see if I click on here and save as. I do have my Zotero opened up. That's not doing what I want it to do, unfortunately. So what I'm wanting it to do actually is go over here. Let's see if my extensions will work here. Oh, I have my extension. It should have. I might need to download that again. Let's go back here. I may not have it downloaded, but I wonder if I didn't, if I still need to. Well, it's downloaded. I still may need to do this. There we are.
It shows you how quick and easy it is to download these.
Yes. There we are. Ah, okay. So what I had forgotten to do, and I needed to go ahead and do this, so this is good to show you as well. I did still need to go ahead and install that connector to Chrome. So the reason I wanted to do that is now I have exactly what I wanted to show up. So I did a search in the Academic Search Complete database for an article, and up here there is a little icon that looks like a page, and I'm going to click on this. And then I'm going to go back down here to Zotero. Well, I don't know why that's not wanting to. Zotero connector, save to Zotero. Yes. Well, usually you don't have to do that. Because usually it should just go ahead and save. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and put in there we go. And let it sync.
Wow.
I know, I have a lot.
Years of research.
You can tell I have a lot of things on here. I was hoping that I could get that to work. Let me try that one more time now that I signed in. It's like it doesn't want to, but what I will do up here is usually what will happen is you can click on that little page and it will download automatically with Zotero. What I will do in my part though is let me show you what will happen. These are different articles that I've downloaded into Zotero, and I can create different collections that are called folders or collections, and I can actually name those according to the research that I happen to be doing. So if I go into tobacco use, and I have different things on here, the other thing I can do is hold down my control button, and I'm highlighting some different articles, and I'm going to right click and say I want to create a bibliography from these items. And the great thing about this is I want this to be in the American Psychological Association. And if I click on OK, I'm going to check my share again just to make sure that people can see this. There we are. So I'm going to save this bibliography as an RTF, a rich text format, and I can save this as tobacco use. I can go ahead and save this to my desktop. And I'm going to minimize this window again. And now I'm going to go back to my share. Actually, I'm going to leave that here for now. I'm going to minimize this. And I'm going to share this again in just a second. Actually, let me close that. There we are. And I'm going to share this again in just a second so people can see this. There we are. So when I save that as a rich text format document in my bibliography, and then I open that in Microsoft Word, the rich text format will work with any word processing program, and it automatically took the citations that I had saved in Zotero, put them into APA style, and it alphabetized them at the same time. So that just sort of scratches the surface of what you can do with Zotero. I'm going to go back over here, go back to my share, and go back to where we were. And now I'm going to turn this over to my colleague Bethany to look at APA Style Central.
So APA Style Central is one of our newest databases. It's one of our newest resources. So this demonstration I'm going to give is probably going to be a little rocky just because this would be the first time that I would be really presenting it and showing how amazing it is. So to access this resource, you're going to go to the library homepage just as if you were looking for a database. So you'll find it under our databases, and then it will be APA Style Central. So APA Style Central is only going to be doing APA formatting. So it's not going to do MLA or Chicago. That's the only major difference. And it looks at formatting and citation. So if you're having problems with formatting a paper in APA and making sure that it follows that specific criteria, like having your headers in the right way, this is a great tool that will also help you with that. So the two features that I want to highlight specifically today is the research, and then I want to kind of show you the write. So I'm going to log in, and when you log in for the first time, you'll have to create an account. Or you can log in with Google maybe. We'll see if this works. It seemed like it was kind of like, do you have an APA account? We'll say no. Continue. Okay, there's a lot of agreeing to terms, but now I have an account, so you'll see how quick and easy that was to create an account with your Google account, which we all have as students at ESU. So here at the top, you'll see there's a drop down that says My File Cabinet, where you have access to your references, and that would be the sources that you import into here. And then you have access to papers that you specifically write, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So looking at my references right now, you'll see that it's empty. So what I want to do is I want to actually start adding a reference. And you can add references in 3 different ways. The first way is because this is synced with PsycInfo, that's one of our databases, you can actually do a very basic search as if you're searching a database. So if I did something along the lines of game-based learning, it brings up all of the different citations that I would have access to. Now just note that this is only the abstract, so it's only going to show me the citation and the abstract of that resource. It's not going to give me the full text. That would be where I would go to the library database, the library catalog, and search for the source to access the full document. So here I can at least see different kinds of titles, and I'm going to go ahead and select a couple of these just to add to the reference for you to see. So to add them, you just click the ones that you want. And then you're going to say add to my references. And then it says over here that it's been added. The second way that you can add information, add sources to your references is by importing them. And the import tool is really handy because it actually can import records from a whole bunch of different databases. So EBSCOhost, you'll just download that record as an RIS file, and then you'll upload it using this option here. Cynthia demonstrated Zotero, so you could take that entire index that she just showed us down here with all of her who knows how many sources and import them in there, and it will show in there. So you can kind of just sync all of your tools together. So if you do a lot of research, I actually have a Mendeley account and a Zotero account and a CoolWhiz account, so I'm kind of a nerd here, but I have all these different accounts that I can actually just merge all of them and keep them in one area. So using that tool, you would just submit and it would just throw them right in there. And then finally, you can actually create them from scratch. So say I found a journal and it looked like Cynthia had a journal here, Challenges in Communication. So say I wanted to use this, but I didn't want to have to import it in directly. That's where you could just start copying and pasting the information in directly. So for this, I would say it's a journal article. And you'll see that there's a lot of different reference types. So if you really struggle with, how do I cite a video? How do I cite an image? You can actually click on these different types of resources, and there's so many different ones. But we're going to go with the very basic here, journal article. Yeah.
So just bring the whole article to you.
Yeah, it will only be that citation, so it won't actually be the full text.
Right. Citation for that journal or for article?
For the article. Yep. And so here I say it's a journal article, and I'm going to just go with the default here. Authorship, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to skip ahead since I already copy and pasted the title. So I'll put that there. And here it says, what are the authors? And there's actually a whole bunch of them, but for the sake of time, I'm only going to just do a little example. Right here, it's saying initials, because in APA, we only use the first initial of the author's name, so that would be where the A is. And then I can save that. Say OK. Doing the publication. Looks like this is from 2018. So you see how you're doing this manually. Here's the journal. So you'll just keep filling out all that information. And what I really like is that you can actually add notes, which will come in handy later. So if you're doing multiple research projects, you can actually add what research project you're doing that, kind of like tagging something so that you can find it later. So if I say add, and it might not let me because I didn't put very much information. Yeah, so it's saying that I'm still missing a lot of information, but I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit to show you what that looks like. So that's how you would import them manually. So now looking at your reference page, these are the ones that I imported from PsycInfo. So if I had a note, such as adding a tag for whichever research project, that would be where it would be right here. I could say add notes later too. So if I said, oh, I want to use this one for Dr. Kane's class, and then save that. So then I have that note that pops up down there. You can search your notes. So if you have like 100 references and you want to find what research research you've been using for a specific note, then you can just search Dr. Kane, and it pops up with what I've added that to.
So this is basically the citation of the
Yep, just the citation.
So I don't have, this is why it's a citation or that's that?
The abstract will be added. You'll see that right here, there's this link that says abstract. So I can also see the abstract. But as far as the actual article, like the entire text of it, you won't be able to access that with this specific tool. But we'll show you a few other tools that you can do that with.
So I can do this one with MLA or just APA?
Yeah, just APA.
Just APA. Mm-hmm. The nice thing about this specific resource, though, that I want to show is when you have your references in here, you go into Write, and you can actually create your own papers in this tool. So if I say I want to start a new paper, it provides you with templates. So let's say that you have to write a literature review and you have no idea what that looks like. You've never written a literature review before. You can see what a sample would look like. So this gives you an idea of what it should look like at the end. But going back, if I say that I want to do this, then it's going to actually start formatting the paper for me. And this question right here is just asking me if I'm doing this as a student or if I'm doing it as a faculty member, because publishing as a faculty member, you would include a couple other things such as an author note or an abstract that is more specific to that field. But using the student, you don't actually have to include those things. So that's where I'm going to say student assignment and submit. I'm going to give this a title, so this would be game-based learning test paper. And I can add my references right here. So if I already have a list of all the references that I want to start talking about, then I just click that and say I want these ones in there and add to paper. So then it's going to start building the template for me. And so it says it's been added. So now I have my template. So I can click in this navigation menu on the side. This is the navigation of my paper. So if I say title page, that would be my running head, and it's kind of telling me right here, abbreviated title that is printed at the top of the page of a manuscript. So that would be game-based learning test paper. And it's telling me character limit of 50, so I still have room if I wanted to make that longer. If I have a professor, we're going to say this is Cynthia Kane is my professor. And the course number might be ULA 100. And I can say save. And now it's going to generate it. Should. If I preview. And it's already made that for me. So you don't have to worry about, is my running head correct? Because this is often where a lot of students get dinged on points because they might capitalize running head or they may not capitalize this part. So it's going to do that entire thing throughout the paper for you. So you'll put in your body, you'll put in the references, and I would say, okay, so if I have my references, it's going to do all of that citing, all of that formatting in APA without me having to worry about it. That's the nice thing. So then when you're done, you can export it and download it either as a PDF ready to turn into Canvas to your professor, or you can download it into Word where you can add additional things that Word features have that this does not have. And I haven't seen very many features that this doesn't have. So that's a plus. So that's basically how this tool works. There's just one other feature in here. This is publish. So if you have to publish, that's what that tab would be. But that's the two that I wanted to show today. The other two, where's my presentation? Going back to the rest of our presentation, we had a few more tools, and we have just a few minutes, right? Okay. So we have CoolWiz, and CoolWiz is actually my favorite citation manager because it works very similar to Zotero. It has a web importer add-on that works in Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, and it allows you to import, save a document citation for any kind of browser. You cannot download the document directly from the browser, so as she was showing in Chrome, if you click on the icon, it doesn't download it, but you can download the PDF of an article and then upload it into CoolWiz, and so that's how you can save it and have access to it. Another really cool feature is with CoolWiz, you can open up that PDF through that software and actually create highlighting, making notes on that PDF, and it will save to your account. I like to brag about CoolWiz for one reason though, and it's because it's one of the only tools right now that will sync directly with Google Docs. So if you only write your papers in Google Docs, you don't use Microsoft Word, this is an amazing tool that will help you create your citations with that tool, and it will sync, and it will be something that you just add on as an add-on with Google Docs. And then the other tool we just wanted to do a shout out for is Mendeley, and Mendeley is a very sophisticated citation manager because it does the exact same thing that Zotero does and CoolWiz does, where you can download and have access to those citations. But Mendeley also has its own kind of database because they've kind of gone in a direction of a social media where as a user, I can upload my own articles or papers that I've written and share them with other people. And then also if Cynthia is a Mendeley user and I'm a Mendeley user, we can become friends on Mendeley, and I have access to seeing things that she shares. Maybe we're doing a research project together and she wants to say, Bethany, I think that you would really like these things about game-based learning, so she'll share those with me. And once again, it has its own add-on for Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, and it's compatible with Microsoft Word in the sense that you can download it as an add-on to Microsoft Word. Also, I don't know about Zotero, but Mendeley has a mobile app as well that I actually find really helpful when we do our mobile searching on our phones, but we're only allowed to have so many tabs and we're constantly going through. So that's an easy way to just throw something that you find on the internet on your phone into an app that you can access later. And then of course there's the Mendeley database that I mentioned that it's kind of built in and it's very sophisticated, but if you see a article that's in Mendeley, it does not mean that you have access to it like you would in a library catalog. So if you don't have access to that PDF, you would still want to go back to the library databases to go find that manually. And I think that's it. So do you guys have any questions?
I mean, like, yeah. Zotero, I mean, like, I have to connect Zotero with my, I mean, Gmail, I mean, account.
That is the beauty of Zotero is Zotero is not dependent upon ESU because it's totally independent. So if you want to create a Zotero account with another email account other than your g.emporia.edu account, you can totally do that. Sometimes I encourage students to do that because I want to say that the g.emporia.edu account is good for at least 2 years after you graduate, but then it might go away. Yeah.
I have this, I mean, question. We looked at the article and they said you can use it forever.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to promise because yes, I've heard that too, where we will have that, and they've upgraded it to G Suite. But if the university were to move to a different platform, then I think that would mean that they would move as well.
Mhm.
So it's a hard thing to promise, but if you do have a Google account, yes, that Google account remains yours, even if you made it separately apart from the institution.
Right.
Yeah, but we can, I mean, like if I have a Google account and I use the same email, is that is still the information in my email, the previous email, I mean, like the issue email, still there, is still active, or they will shut it down?
The question was on connecting Google. That I cannot answer. That I do not know. What I would say is if you want to create a Zotero account, you can create it with your g.emporia.edu account with the hope that that will continue and that will go forever. However, I will often encourage students to use another email account such as gmail.com or Yahoo or whatever, because that one is your personal email account, and that's not going to go away unless you actually do something with that. So that's what I do encourage as far as Zotero is concerned. So I hope that helps a little bit. Yeah. No, that's an excellent question. Yeah, and I'm like you, Bethany. I've heard that on the g.emporia.edu that it's going to continue.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to promise that
right.
though. You just don't know, because if they stop paying the bill for it,
right.
obviously that information has to go somewhere, right?
Yeah. That's a good question. And just a quick plug, you may already know this, but we have other library workshops coming up, and we do have a postcard here that we basically have quite a few for the rest of the semester. If you attend 5 of our library workshops, and that's another reason why we're having you sign in, then your name and your email goes into a drawing, and you'll be eligible for like a prize. So that's another incentive. Yeah, that works out.
Yeah. Is there a certificate for the workshop?
Is there a certification for the workshops? Right now, we do not have something. We've been working on some digital badging, but I don't think we've gotten quite that far with that yet. Yeah, but we have that. Yeah, because we've been getting quite a few questions on that too.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you for attending. We really appreciate it.